folks, we are back. Another Dundalk meeting. Dean, awful last week, weren't we?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
That was our worst show at Dundalk ever.
Yeah, it's probably the first time in a long time I've gone out a winner at Dundalk. For me personally, it's definitely a first.
Same, well, I had the winner at first, but apart from that, it was diabolical. Yeah, sure. Look, this week definitely will be better. There's no question about it. We'll have results. We did awful in the Hollywood Bets Punters Challenge.
After the first two races, I didn't even look at how I done or where I finished. It was a terrible day.
Let's just say we were closer to the bottom than we were to the top.
Like if we were racing at Dundalk this week, I was the trainer, I'd be saying, you know what, we can draw a line through last week. It was just one of them off days. We'll go again today or Friday, and we're full of confidence.
We'll go again, and we are full of confidence, definitely.
I think we have a few winners now. I think we'll have a few winners.
I think so too. And we had all the confidence there, boosted with talking to Henry and Ronan and Danny McManaman and all them.
Yeah.
Confidence definitely is high. Morale is high.
Good week in the camp, and hopefully get a few more lined up before Cheltenham. Keep the traffic coming on the channel. Keep all the folks entertained.
Definitely. So be sure to keep an eye out for the Cheltenham content in between this Dundalk video. And yeah, we'll get right into it, and be sure to play the Punters Challenge. Right, folks, we are back. Dundalk again. Horrible week last week, wasn't it, lads?
Definitely.
Yeah. But this week, the talking point isn't going to be the horses. It's going to be my hair, as I'm going to show you. Look at that.
Jesus.
Shearing season, boys.
Well, that it is.
Yeah, I went for a 4 on top, but I didn't think it'd be that short. Not gonna lie. I made a right fucking mess of it. Right, we'll get into the race now. First race, Alan, what are you going for in the first?
I'm going for Strip Late. I just think her last run or his last run was very good behind Lady of Luxury. I actually had to give Lady of Luxury a stone on that occasion, and I think if we remember talking about this race, Alan Pearce gave Lady of Luxury a hell of a ride to get up on the inside. Now, 150 yards in the line, Strip Light was probably in front. Lady of Luxury won a bit cozy. Just looking at the draw, Strip Light's drawn 3. Now, Pineapple Express really impressed me the last day too. It's drawn 17. Now, that was second to Do You Think So? That horse has bombed out since. So, I'll go Strip Light, small each way around 13-2.
Yeah, I'm going for that as well, Alan. Keane McRedmond's riding. He's claiming a few pounds. Like you said, stacking over the same distance behind Lady of Luxury. Look, they were a mile behind, weren't they? The Pissars, Lady of Luxury and Strip Light were well back. I was kind of Macban City-esque, wasn't it? Fucking rocked up the arse and went flying. I was actually surprised he didn't catch Lady of Luxury, but in fairness to Pearce, he gave an unbelievable ride in Lady of Luxury. Yeah, like I said, 13 is a great price. Dean?
Yeah, this is an interesting race, lads, to be fair, because an apprentice handicap, it's very hard to get a gauge on these type of races because you've quite a number of horses in here who have live chances judging by their form, but when not getting not knowing the apprentices like we do know, like Sam Ewing, Siobhan Rutledge, and people like that who are riding at Dundalk regularly, it's very hard to kind of know. So I've kind of narrowed mine down to 2 that I like, but one that I'm going to take. I'm actually going to take Port Lochroy for Joseph O'Brien. I think Hugh Morgan's on board, claiming £4. It was really unlucky last time out. I think there's a lot to like about that. Being by Australia, it is definitely appreciated to step up and triple. Went down by a neck, I think, or a half length the last day. I just think there's more to come from him, and with Hugh Horgan on board, given it's an apprentice race by Australia, stay in trip, should do the job. It's in there 9-2, so I would quite fancy his chances now.
Yeah, like so it's a trigger it's called really, isn't it? There's three, I think, co-favourites now at the minute.
Yeah, there's three co-favourites in there, like as you say, and it really is about how you narrow it down. Like Shadow Massar was the one that beat Port Lockroy the last day, and he's been a great yardstick or a good benchmark for any horse over Dundalk at the last maybe 2 months. He's won 3 races and came second like twice and there. So there's definitely a bit of form there.
Yeah, if you're following Shadow Massar's or like form, you're going to be on the right tracks anyway. Shall we move on to the second race? It's 4:30. It's over mile 2. For me, Tarapisa by Joseph O'Brien looks great. Steps down from 1 mile 4 from the last day. Was an impressive winner in December. Won by 6.5 lengths, I think it was. Beat Palace Rock that day. Palace Rock came out and bet Maleferous and Scott Lang. Then recently, yeah, look, I think this wins so easy here tomorrow night. 9-2 looks massive. Alan?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Ryan. I actually think 9-2 looks very big in this horse as well. One is maiden by 6.5 lengths. Fourth to the mouse doctor the last day. Like, look at the drop back and trip short to suit. There should be plenty more improvement to come. Now, getting £7 from Tartlet is a right bit for a distance that'll suit Terrapisa. Tartlet going up £9 from the last day. Don't really know what to make of that race. Like we all kind of looked at it was a salt and stall. How far was he going to win? This, that, and the other. He kind of was a non-runner. Look at Tartlet won impressively. She's a mare in form. I'm happy to play 9-2 Terrapisa here.
Well, I've gone against this with Tartlet. I just think, there's already been a nibble in the market for her there already. Like, I fancied her each way the last day, even though it was a 5-horse race, because she really is a mare that likes the 1 mile 2 and almost the 1 mile 3 start around Dundalk. That was her third occasion winning off that around there. And the interesting thing is, she beat horses that were rated well above her, and she was entitled to be well back. But she won that with plenty in hand, so it's no surprise to see that she got £9. And to be fair, I think £9 is a very, very workable mark, because she could have went up 12 and nobody would have said anything the way she won, because she was snug on the line. I think she's. I know Tarapisa is dropping back, but I think to beat Tartlet, going to have to be on his game, because the 1 mile 2 or the 1 mile 3, 1 mile 2, almost a mile 3 is her ideal trip around Dundalk. And she's won 3 around there, and now she's 7-2, or she was 5-2, now 7-4. Like, big price, big price.
I think the weight might be a big issue.
The weight might be an issue, but given the caliber of horse she beat the last time, she's basically dropping down in grade to carry more weight, which should offset that, really.
Yeah, the old saying just as well, lads, you don't put weight in an ass.
You know what I mean?
Who's riding Tartlet?
Shimmy Heffernan.
Yeah, who's riding Tarapisa as well?
Good question, Ryan. I don't have it here to me at hand.
I think it is Pearce. So he's going to be claiming, so he's going to take weight off Tarapisa as well on top of that. So for me, I just can't see Tarapisa getting beat at all. We'll move on before we start an argument. We'll go on to the 5 o'clock race. It's over a mile. I'm going for Tyrconnell, Sarah, Lynham's Trend. Shane Cross is riding. He's had 24 starts at Dundalk. He's been in stall 7 6 times. He's won twice out of stall 7. He has won 3 times out of the 24 starts, and 2 of them have come out of stall 7, and one of them was over this trip as well. He dead heated last time out of 5th, came 5th. Yeah, look, I think Tyrconnell's going to win this. He's got that stall 7 again this time out, so I'm liking the look of that. I'm going off that, and I'm going at 6-1. Looks decent.
Alan, fire away.
Yeah, I'm going the other way, Ryan. I'm going Dark Magic. Look, a lot of this race is probably a lot of the form kind of ties in with each other. Dark Magic's getting £7 from Tyrconnell for 2.25 length beaten. That for me leaves Dark Magic well handicapped. Now, if you look at it, Big could be good and well suited, back on January the 20th. Well Suited won 2 cents and reopposes here. Like, look at this horse beat Well Suited getting £3. Now he'll give him 5. Like, Dark Magic looks well handicapped to me. 13-2. Like, I'm amazed by the price. He's probably an each way bet than nothing in this race.
I'm going to go against both of you in this one. I'm going to take Coy Big. I think she's good each way value, 13-2. Seems to be coming back into a bit of form. She was second last time out, fourth the time before that. So starting to kind of find a bit of form. Was second off top weight last time out. Now I know it's probably up in class this time, carrying a wee bit less weight. Might be the trick, might be the key. Happy enough to take a play at 13-2.
Yeah, it's great that you memorised that word for it anyway. I'll throw another one out here at a big each way shot. Dragon Walt, I think, is one to definitely be keeping an eye on. Siobhan Rutledge is claiming £7 off him. I reckon he'll run a huge race. He was last seen at Curra. 14-1, he looks a very good each way shot. We'll move on anyway to the 5:30. It is a 7 furlong race. For me, Aloso, trained by Richard O'Brien. I don't know if any has read Richard O'Brien's blog last time out. He said Aloso was definitely one to be keeping an eye out on, and did finish third behind Benevente and Devil's Outlaw. I think 8-1 is a massive each way shot here.
I'm Skill Warrior. Look, it's 6-4. It'll probably be shorter tomorrow night. Like, the form shown last season, we've seen a bit of like third on debut to Southern Cape and 4 Home 2. Now, I mentioned 4 Home 2 last week, ended up finishing fourth in the Star Appeal listed race at Dundalk. Southern Cape, who's trained by Aidan O'Brien, went on to run the Beresford, which is a Group 2. Like, this horse followed it up then with a good run at Tipperary, finishing second to Jack Duggan. Like, look, it learned plenty on that occasion. I still think there's probably a little bit more to come. Johnny Morton I'd say this horse it should break its maiden this time around.
Yeah, maidens around Dundalk are pretty tricky. Like, you know, I was looking through it there, and Johnny's horse is rightly favourite, and you've one in there for Joseph O'Brien, Miss March, I think, for JP, like, you know, who finished fourth and a good maiden around Leopardstown. So there's bits and snippets of form there, but I do like the one that Ryan's on about because it has got good form tying on with a race won at Dundalk last time out by a stablemate Benevente, when, you know, as we say, we kind of all read Richard O'Brien's notes that day, our blog that day on it. But if you're looking at it that way too, you have to take into consideration Denise Foster's colt Swiss Swoo at 12-1. He was beaten behind Elos that day by 2 lengths. You know, both of them was on debut, so they're both going to have learned plenty from it. You know, at a bigger price away from the more likely contenders, I'd be happy to have small each way. You know, because it really is a hot maiden. You know, I'd happy for small each way.
Yeah, I don't know. I was torn between Aloso and Alan's one. I do really like the look of Alan's one. But just I didn't want to go for favourite here, to be honest. We'll go to 6 o'clock. I think we're all on the same horse, are we? Phil at top?
Yes.
Yeah. Jessie Harrington is training. Who Jessie has her birthday today, isn't it?
Yesterday. One of the two.
So happy birthday, Jessie. I know you're a big fan of the show. I'm going for a lot of Shane Foley rides here tonight, or tomorrow night, should I say. Feeling Tip Top was fairly unlucky last time that, you know, he was coming up against the field that he met, the likes of Charmed and Halbop were running it. I do think Charmed is still going to win a group race at some point. Shacklin Hero finished 6th in that race as well, and we all know what he did there not so long ago. I just can't get over 5-2. Where's that coming from? This thing should be even money on its own, if not.
Yeah, well, that could be debatable there, Ryan. You know, he's had quite a few runs, although his runs have been against high quality horses, you know, or horses that have went on to a higher quality than what you would see around Dundalk mostly, and that's no disrespect to any horse, obviously. But like 5-2 is probably generous enough, given the fact that he's had so many runs, and he could be exposed to something here that might pop up, you know. But as you say, he went through his form there, Charmed, Halebop, you know, 5-2. I'm happy to take that.
Yeah, look, lads, I'm not going to add much more on to that. I would be just thinking the other way as well. He's had his runs. He could probably go into a handicap. They're not going. They're still going down the maiden route again. They're going to try and get the maiden tag broken. Like, look at the 2 runs of the dog. Second, Inca Prince. That horse went on to actually finish last with Henry de Bromhead in the Killavullen Group 3. Like, look at that's strong enough form. And as Ryan said, they are Halebop and Charm. That looks good enough for me. They made plenty of use of him the last day. I think it's more drop in here, take your time. 5-2. Like, look, unless we're all totally wrong, I think that's massive.
As you say, Alan, you know, they could have gone down the handicap route because as a mark now, but he's still a colt as well, isn't he? So they obviously like the breeding side of him, and they've maybe got one eye on that. And if I wouldn't be surprised if he flops here again, that you maybe see him in the sales in a few months' time or whatever, because you know the big operation like that's they've got plenty of breeding potential with some of their horses.
Yeah, and the majority of them horses could end up going foreign, the likes of, I think the owners have a tendency maybe go Australia or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I like about him is he is proven here at Dundalk over the course and the distance. Yeah. Then you're coming up against the likes of O'Brien's 2 debutants, Joe Lyons as debutant, and they could be anything. I know there could be anything, but like they might not like Dundalk at all.
Yeah, but like as we always kind of note whenever we're talking about the maidens around Dundalk, Joseph's always kind of tend to take a run unless it's a very, very good one that can win first time out. Jers, you could be, you know, it's hard to kind of know what the story is there because it's so early coming up to the flat season. We haven't seen a Jer having a horse there in a while, so kind of hard to know if his horses are on form or how they're going. So it's the safest option.
Yeah, just one other thing, lads. Just as far as like made plenty of use of it the last day. A lot of these debutants now, I know they've had stalls work, but feeling tip top should be sharp enough from the gates. He probably should be up. I don't just want him to force it completely, but like I think if you get something to go on, he tracks it in, he wins.
Yeah, like even if he did go on and make the run, like you can nearly bank on a couple of them behind being green as grass under, you know, when they're being asked or whenever they come under pressure. So that might work to his advantage if he can nick 4 or 5 lengths advantage. You know, we'll just have to see how it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, I just was shocked at 5-2. I genuinely thought it'd be so much shorter than that. Should we move on to the half 6? Anyway, it's a 7 furlong race. For me, San Andreas for Joseph O'Brien. Hugh Horgan's claiming £7. Hugh Horgan pretty much rides this horse anytime. Bottom weight in this field. To be honest, I wouldn't be looking at the turf form at all. Absolutely loves Dundalk. Completely different horse on the old weather, really. Possibly needs to run. But again, look, he tore last minute at power last time they met. And look, one bad run at Dundalk over 6 furlongs would really go against him that much. 2-1. I know he's a bit short. I was expecting a little bit bigger, to be honest.
You could probably draw a line through the run over 6 furlongs. You know, obviously wasn't exactly maybe up. You know, the trip probably too sharp for him or whatever. I've gone for him here as well. Small field. You've got 2 for Joseph. You've got 2 for Ado McGuinness. You've got 1 from James McCauley, and the other is one of Mac Mulvaney's. So, you know, it's a really small field. I don't know, Ado's horses. Took laughing on it before, and the other ones are unexposed because it's his first run in Ireland, so we kind of don't know what it's all about. But I think Andreas, you know, his last one in Market Dundalk was off 100. He's off 103 tomorrow night. But as you say, Ryan, Hugh Horgan takes £7 off, so it was technically back below his last one in Mark, and a track that he likes and he knows, and a small runner field. 2-1 could work out to be a big price.
Yeah, just look, we looked at this race, and as Ryan said there, San Andreas, whether he'll need it. Like, the thing for me is, I think all the runners in this race are coming off a long enough break. I think they're all coming off 100 plus days off. Godhead is the very, very interesting runner for me for Shamrock Thoroughbreds and Aidan McGuinness. Like, this horse, a 3-time all-weather winner in the UK, 2 at Kempton, 1 at Chelmsford, was picked up for 50k at the Newmarket sales back in August 2020. Now, like, just looking at that horse's form, I know we're looking at the turf, but third in the Bunbury Cup at Newmarket behind Motorkyle. Motorkyle was after coming in off a win in the Buckingham Palace at Royal Ascot. I think if this horse can show anything like that form, like he's 5-1, I'll say maybe put up the forecast San Andreas to beat Godhead, just because we don't know and just are proven with the Dundalk form. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Godhead goes very close.
I didn't know that about them being bought for 50k. You know, if he's bought for 50k and then training with Aidan McGuinness for Shamrock Thoroughbreds, then they've either got Galway or the Lincoln, or they've got a big handicap at somewhere in mind for this horse that they're going to make their money back on. He could be just out for a canter around Dundalk and get a line on them, or he could be out for a quick few pound. You know, they could win their first race. You know, it's just hard. It's really hard to kind of tell.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these horses in the Lincoln. I'd say they could all be in the Lincoln this year.
Yeah.
It's just whenever you look at that money that he spent there, they've obviously a plan down the line for him, rather than, you know, running around Dundalk in a 7 furlong handicap.
I just
6 grand, 7 grand.
Yeah, I think maybe Lingfield, the all-weather championships, maybe something like that could be what they're looking at. I don't know, maybe whether they have to win this or maybe get into another qualifier to go to Lingfield. But they have a good line of horses, I think, heading that way anyway. So he could be another one.
Yeah.
The last horse that Shamrock Thoroughbreds crowd brought over from England was Harry Barr.
Yeah.
I'm sure he went like.
Which, look at that, Laughing Minute finished behind him last time out.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a whole lot of there, but it's just, it really is about who shows up and who's the fittest on the night.
Like, you look at Last Minute came just behind Harry's Bar, but San Andreas destroyed Last Minute. So you can't say San Andreas is better than Harry's Bar, because San Andreas would have been down and made him there last week. Like, so yeah, like you said, Dean, it's whoever's fittest on the day. We move on to 7 o'clock. For me, I'm going for one of your horses, Dean, Sideshow Bob. Sheila Lavery. Look, he's been knocking on the door recently, and hopefully you're not tipping him up, because you could be the curse. Ran second last time out behind Togoville, who of course went on then next race and really destroyed another field. Third before that behind Dark Magic and Tyrconnell. So if one of them wins that earlier race, that's a huge boost on Sideshow Bob's form. Yeah, look, 3-1 is a fair price here.
I'm not taking him this time now, Ryan. Thankfully, you'll be glad to know. But I'll tell you, if Sideshow Bob wins this time, I'm getting you one of his wigs from The Simpsons, and he would put on that mop of yours now. I like 2 in this race. To be honest, there's 2 that catch my eye. Strange Times for Tracy Collins and Paddy Arnott, and Miss Sassy Boots. Now, I mentioned on the show the last time that Miss Sassy Boots had an each way chance. He ended up finishing 4th. She was unlucky, but the time before that could have been, you could put the line through it. This horse likes to break out in front, get on with things, and stride out the line. She's just been nailed close home the last twice. She's run over the mile, dropped back to 7 furlongs a night, 8-1. She has each way value, but so at the same time as Strange Times. You know, I couldn't pan my collar to one of them, but I would give them both a small each way chance. I probably will back them both just small each way, just for the fact that I like the both of them. But I wouldn't be surprised if either one.
I had Strange Times wrote down myself, and what I had wrote down was Strange Times is the danger to Sideshow Bob, and maybe do a possible reverse forecast on the two of them. Yeah. That's what I was thinking myself. Alan, What are you on?
I'm going to go Indiana Gray. Pat Martin had a good week last week with Neyland getting ahead his front. This horse, look, she needs a strong pace. As Dean mentioned, Miss Sassy Boots likes to get on with it. That's the kind of angle I was looking into this race. Let Miss Sassy Boots go off in front. Now, Indiana Gray's had her issues with stalls being left at the start and being left a good furlong behind. She was fourth the last twice behind Marseille and Togeville. There's nothing really that caliber in this race. She needs a fast pace. She needs the race run to suit. She will be closing late and fast. Look, she's 11-1, small each way. I thought the last two races on the night were very tricky.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on
that. There's a horse running in this that kind of left us all speechless last time, isn't it? 100 not out, Leon Breams.
Yeah.
What is he second favourite? Is he 7-2? Will he win?
I'm not sure. No, I never bothered.
What's the chances?
It seems to be I've followed him for quite a while. And he seems to be a kind of tricky horse. So I wouldn't be overly sure that he would be consistent enough to put two in the bounds together.
Do you think maybe Leanne might have found?
She could have found a key to him, definitely. She could have found a key. Shane Cross again, so
Leanne's yard, because she desperately needed that winner, and I know we were writing her off completely. We were writing that horse off completely. Especially,
they're such a tricky horse to win with. You couldn't pin your collar to it, unless you actually see the horse working alongside something that's rated whatever. You your collar to it, for the likes of us looking on from the outside, definitely not.
Yep. We move on to the final race of the night. 6 furlongs. For me, I am going for Sunset Nova, the Andy Slattery team, and his son and Andy Jr. is riding, former apprentice champion. He's still a 3-pound claimer, surprisingly. Hasn't gone up from that third place behind Togeville last time out. Togeville was rated 65 just 2 weeks ago and is now rated 78. That is some hike in the reins. I know, obviously, 2 wins on the bounce. But, I don't think the 3-pound claimer on Togeville's back will help much. And I think Sunset Nova will come up and do the business at 6-1.
Yeah, this, as Alan mentioned at the end of the last one, this is tricky. Togeville's now 11. He's strung 2 in the bounce together, but he's actually still well handicapped given on his old form. He was still 1.5 marks in the 90s a couple of years ago. But he got 12 points for the last big one, which was he won by 4.5 lengths. He was smug enough, I suppose. He probably could complete the hat-trick, because whenever that horse is in a bit of form, he does go on a bit of a run and always tries hard. That horse was on a claimer for $5,000 about a month and a half ago, so about 6 weeks ago. Nobody bought him. They won 2 in the bounds, decent enough pricing. I like Annabelle Rock. I put her up last time out. She was just beaten behind 100 not out there, as Ryan mentioned. She got £3 for that, but I think still she will be well handicapped, and I think she's drawn a stall 9 there. I think she'll get her head in front this time. It's a trap enough race, but I do think she's been really unlucky in her last 2 runs not to get her head in front. So I like to look at her.
Yeah, it's a very tricky closing race in the night. Every time I looked at this race, it seemed to be full of pace. Every horse that I seem to look at like to be up forcing the pace. Togeville likes to force it. For me, I'm going to take a very small each way chance on Truba, trained by Eddie Linehan. This horse still owned by the Johnny Murtagh Racing, and Jamie Powell's going to be on board claiming £10. Most of its form last season is on soft or heavyish turf ground. We don't know what to make of the Dundalk, whether it'll be suited or not. It does like to come off a strong pace. Now, the only thing I'll say is, look, take a chance that maybe it's sitting off the pace and they cut each other's throats up front and it might just pick up the pieces. 12-1, very, very small each way, but no major fancy in this.
Yeah, I couldn't really agree more with that. It's just too tough of a race to really put a load of money on.
I I would argue that for maybe 2 or 3 of the races tomorrow night. Like, it's not of a quality of a card that we've seen recently enough. And like anybody that goes and has a good few pound on at Dundalk, there is probably the people that'll be shouting and roaring about being poor quality racing and that. Like, but this is a real tricky card. There's horses on there that's very well handicapped, that's in good form. So, like, if I manage to get 2 winners in the night, I'll be happy enough. I'd be happy because like there's some of them going to be small, a couple of pound each way. That's the rest of them because I just don't like. I wouldn't chance going any bigger on something.
Yeah, the market's going to tell an awful lot tomorrow. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see owners probably gamble a fair bit. Yeah, well, we can't really get any worse than last week, can we?
Well, I can't. I know I never had a winner for the first time in a long time. I've never had a winner at Dundalk.
Yeah, I dodged the bullet last week. I had the winner at first. And other than that, Alan, do you have a winner?
No, hit the post a couple of times. The big gamble in the maiden and ran on to finish second, but no.
None. Well, there you have it, folks. Hopefully we did better than last week.
What about the
Lads,
nap?
we put up a nap, next best, and a little bit of each way.
Yeah, we better. Right, Dean, hit us.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus there, Ryan. Right. Let me see. Nap of the night, tartlet. Next best. Feeling tip top. Each way. Each way. My sassy boots.
Alan, you're up next.
Nap of the night for me is Skilled Warrior for Johnny Murton, the half-5. The next best is Feeling Tip Top. And the each way steal, probably the each way steal in a long time at Dundalk, is Dark Magic in the 5 o'clock.
I am going for Nap Tower Pizza in the 4:30. Next best, we're all on the same next best. It's Feeling Tip Top. And each way, I might go for Eloso in the 5:30.
Me and yous against each other. We are naps in the night, anyway, Ryan.
Howie?
Yeah.
Who'd you go for? Tartlet.
Well, we're going for a podcast anyway, sure.
Tower Pizza wins that easy.
No, don't write the mayor off. She's a good one. She's a good one. I think they'll be looking to go down the route with that mare, that tartlet there. They'll be looking to try. She's rated 90 there now. They'll try and maybe pick up some sort of black type where she was picked up for next to no money at all at one of them horses and training sales 2 years ago. And so, if that's their plan, like they hopefully could pick up some sort of black type, and then they have a mare to breed with. There's only 5 there, I think, so still got plenty of time.
Yep. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Anything else? No?
I think so.
Alan?
No, I'm happy.
You don't have anything for us?
Absolutely nothing. I'm happy. 4 winners tomorrow night. That'll do me.
4.
Jesus Christ.
I'd pan my hopes and getting. I'd be delighted with one. Might crack open a can of beer if that's the case. If I got one or never mind. After none last week.
Yeah, fucking hell! From none to 4 straight away on. You're aiming high. And what, 4 second places then as well?
No, we'll leave out the last 2 races and we get a couple placed early on.
We'll take that. Yeah, that's it, folks. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get 500 before we hit Cheltenham. Yeah, that's it.
Do check out the interviews with Henry and Ronan as well that we've done.
Yes.
They'll be on the channel. They're doing quite well. Henry talks a lot of sense, gives plenty of pointers to where his horses are going for Cheltenham. So anybody is looking for a wee bet, Andy post.